Guys, MCU Collector here, still moving right along with the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men Wave 3 Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. Now we are upon Multiple Man, Jamie Madrox? I don't know, I may be pronouncing that wrong, but Multiple Man. So this was one that lots of people were excited for. Me, probably not so much. I think it's cool. It gives an army building possibility and opportunity out there as well. I'm not real familiar with the character, believe it or not. My only exposure would be to X-Men 3 The Last Stand, which was the worst X-Men movie there is. Although probably debatable with X-Men Origins Wolverine. But that's pretty much my only exposure to Multiple Man. And I know that that version is basically forgettable because he didn't really do a whole lot. But here he is. This is the army building one. I only have one Multiple Man figure. I will be getting 2 additional eventually, so I can display one with each head. But I just have the one for now, but we'll get right along into it and check it out. So Multiple Man, you see down at the bottom, Multiple Man, X-Men logo, X logo at the top, Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. Artwork on the side showing 3 of Jamie Madrox, but it's all the same head. So this one actually has 2 different heads, one without the cowl, I guess you'd call it. I don't know, the hood. It's not a full mask. These 2 are the same, just different facial expressions, so pretty cool. There on the back of the package, you have a promo shot of the figure, and that's the one head that actually comes on the figure already. The bio reads, "Not to be duped by duplication, Jamie Madrox uses the ability to clone himself to assign liaisons to travel the world and acquire new skill sets." Really cool. There is the entire wave, the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. We've looked at Wolverine, Magneto, Gladiator, Sabretooth, Storm. We are on Multiple Man. Next up after this will be Psylocke, ending with the Build-A-Figure video. There is the UPC for Multiple Man, and because I forgot, here is the UPC for Storm. So again, this one's the Storm one. Here is Multiple Man. So, sorry about that. Usually do that, but I completely forgot when it came to Storm. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But there it is. But let's get this figure opened up and take a look. Here is Multiple Man, Jamie Madrox out of the package. Really cool looking figure. Pretty basic though as well. But I think the expectation was kind of there for this one. Now, I believe this is the X Factor costume, which is probably the one that I think people wanted the most. I know he's had a couple of different costumes. I think one had a lot of green and circles on it and whatnot. But a solid figure. It is the Bucky Cap figure again. Bucky Cap is nice and easy figure, and it really is a solid body mold, especially for when a costume is pretty basic, not a whole lot of design to it or anything like that. It works. He has that trench coat, the trench coat that we've seen over and over and over again multiple times. Nick Fury figures, a Punisher figure used it before. Trying to think of what other figures, and it kind of slips my mind, but we've seen it before. But the better thing about this one is it actually has the newer arms versus the older arms, because the older one, you couldn't put the arms like all the way down where here, whoops, you can actually get the arms down. You couldn't actually do that before with the older arms that used the coat as well. So these are the arms that came with the Punisher Netflix figure. So it's nice and updated, but because of that, there's also limited articulation as well. So like here on the arms, you're only going to get a single jointed elbow as opposed to a double jointed elbow. So you get that much bend, which is actually pretty good. It's about 90 degrees, so it's not bad. And it's definitely a larger arm, which is good because if you're wearing a long sleeve coat, it should actually be bigger. So I don't have a problem with that at all. It's just that, you know, instead of double jointed elbows, you're just getting a single jointed elbow, but not bad. So we'll take a close look up at the figure. The face looks pretty good. Now up here on the head, and I think it's going to depend on which one, on your individual package and how it's going to look, but like the yellow by the reds, it's not filled in a whole lot, and I'm not sure exactly how it should look. I know some of them, the yellow doesn't come out looking as good. I think actually mine looks pretty good. It's just a very simple kind of thing, and I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be an all yellow circle with just a red X over it, or if it's supposed to have some blue in there. Mine does. I think it actually does look pretty good. Now the trench coat, you can see that there actually is a dark wash on this collar piece, which does look really nice and make it look realistic. However, I think that would have been good for the rest of the jacket as well instead of nothing, because it's just a flat brown color and not a whole lot going to it. It's not a bad sculpt of the jacket, it's just the coloring is pretty flat, but at least they put in some effort here, I guess. So looking at that, now this figure has some of the same QC paint issues that the rest of the wave has. It's just some fuzzy lines, and it's not, I don't know, I think Hasbro could do better. It's just on these figures they really haven't, and you can see some of the blue coming through on that yellow. If they would have just hit it with another layer of yellow paint, it would have been good, but I don't know. Maybe I just need to lower my expectations a little bit, which probably isn't too fair either to have to do, right? We want some quality, we want a balance of it, but there it is. But that head looks good. This head looks good. It's just the different facial expressions on those ones. And then the third head that he comes with is an unmasked head. And then this one actually really reminds me of like the Peter Parker head sculpt, even though it is different. It does look similar, but it does look pretty good. And you know, it's, I don't know, the ones with the half mask or the cowl on almost look like a different face. It looks like this is like a very a younger face sculpt compared to these two. Might just be me, but it's really easy to to switch them out. You just pop it off. You can just pop them on. You can just pop them on. You can just pop them on. Let me see. There we go. I just kind of have to work it in. But that one looks pretty good. I'm probably going to leave him displayed with the head that came out of the package. And then when I get the other two, then I'll have you know, 3 total showing the different ones. But here, whoop, there that one is. That one looks pretty good. Now let's look at it. The unmasked head. If I can do this, because I seem to be having some troubles today. And that head looks good. I think that head looks very realistic to a person. So I always appreciate that on figures. That looks pretty good, and looks like, yeah, I like the way that look. And I know people can switch this head out and use it for like a civilian, you know, as they do in their like backdrops and the backgrounds and stuff like that. So I think you can get a lot of good use out of this head sculpt. But there he is. I won't go over the articulation too much on the body because it's Bucky Cap. We've seen it over again, but the head will look all the way down. He can look up, even though the jacket's there. It's not going to hinder too much. You can kind of move it back because the jacket is thin and it's very pliable. So you can be able to do that. The arms will come out. It looks like the left arm goes a little bit higher than the right, but you get full rotation. There is the upper bicep cut, the single jointed elbow. It also swivels at the elbow as well. And then the wrists swivel and they hinge. Now the thicker sleeve hinders a little bit of the hinge in the wrist. It's not too bad, but it does a little bit. So you can see, you know, that hand isn't hinging too much in, you know, depending on your position of where the hand is on the sleeve. But it does look pretty good. There he is, multiple man. So when I get more of them, I'll post some pictures up on the Instagram and have them. But I think at first he will be difficult to find because everyone's going to army build him. And then I think eventually when that kind of dies down, maybe he will be easy to find. The casual fan or parent that's buying toys for their kids, this one I don't think is really going to kind of stand out to them. It's going to be really the collector market that's going to be getting them. But at first he's definitely, I think, going to be hard to find because everyone's going to want to army build him right away. Before we finish out the video, here is the right leg to the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure, and the whole entire lower leg is that nice dark green blue color in there, and then the upper part of the leg is that metallic blue. So looking very cool. We're getting close. We're getting close. The next one up is going to be Psylocke. That's probably going to be tomorrow, maybe this evening, but more than likely tomorrow. But there he is, multiple man Jamie Madrox from X Factor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's X Factor. Now leave, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Hit that thumbs up if you guys like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. But as always, thank you for watching.